Great Malenko. You did train with him. You did start wrestling, I think, briefly beforehand,
Yes,
and then
that's correct.
Great Malenko. So who, apart from Larry Simon,
Hmm.
who trained you, were there any other like famous names that went on to make it at the same time? So no, X Pac, Norman Smiley, maybe
Yeah,
different times as you, but who was sort of in your
yeah. No,
class?
Sean was there when I was there. Norman Smiley had actually just left. Um, uh, Bob Cook had wrestled all over Florida as the mass superstar. Barry Horowitz had been there. Man, trying to think. He's so many people came through there. When I was there, it was mostly myself and Sean Waltman. We came through at the same time. I had done about a guy up here in Kentucky named Rick Newsom actually broke me into the business. I went to the Monster Factory for like a little tryout. I drove up there one weekend, and I'd been sending out letters all over the country to promoters, and trying to get it and trainers, and because it wasn't like it is nowadays, where there's a lot of different schools. But anyway, long story short, Rick really didn't smarten me up, but I had about 10 or 12 matches just against him, either as a manager or in like a street brawl kind of thing. And so I did that for a few months, and I was at a show, an NWA show, NWA Sanctions show, I should say, and it was Hector Guerrero as Lasertron and Jimmy Valiant versus Buddy Landell. And to this day, I cannot remember the other talent that canceled, but I had worked a third match, and then the promoter asked me would I go out with Buddy. Buddy actually said, "Put this kid here with me," and I had the long blonde hair, and at the time I was, built pretty good, and so Buddy said, "Just listen to me." And I was on a ring apron, and they were working, and I was like, "Holy cow, these guys are work! They're professionals." I could just see it, and I got back in the back, and I was like, "Buddy, what do I got to do to get to be like that?" He goes, "Man, you get the proper training," and. So I went back home, and that evening or within a couple of weeks, and Marvin, a guy named Marvin Joel from Minnesota had actually sent me a packet that had all the information because he knew Larry, and he sent me a packet about the Malenko School, and I started contacting them. And there was a lady there named Phyllis Lee that wrote me back and said, "Yeah, we're come on down, whatever." Time I was in Kentucky, and the school was in Tampa, and I just kept working and saved my money for about 6 months. And I had two friends that were in Orlando that I knew that was 90 miles away from Tampa. And I said, if I can get that close, I can at least train on the weekends. And that's kind of what happened. I went to Orlando, got a little job, hanging around. I'd done several different things, from cleaning restaurants to pool management to just, get my money. Then I'd leave on Friday night, train in Tampa Saturday and Sundays. And I did that for about 3 months, and a room opened up at the camp. And so I moved on down to Tampa, and then it was balls to the wall. I went 4 days a week. Every time the gym was open, I was with Larry in there learning. And about 4 months of that, and another guy named Rico Frederico. And like I said, Sean was there, and Jumbo Beretta, Willie Wilkerson Jr. Anyway, some of those guys were there. And about 4 months into it, Dean had been traveling to Japan quite a bit. He came back into the camp. We had moved locations, and Dean got with me and said, "Hey, man, Dad said you're doing pretty good. I'd like to work with you and Rico exclusively." And I was like, "Yeah, yes, for sure. Whatever, whatever. And that's my training really accelerated. With Larry, I was doing a lot of conditioning, psychology, and just working the matches. It was Tuesday and Wednesdays, and then on Saturdays was like an open gym, and then Sundays I had two rings. One of them was for shoot fighting. I'd go over and learn a little bit of that and get my butt beat, but needed to learn, lessons I needed to learn. And then, like I said, when Dean came, my training really accelerated, and best thing I say, I was very fortunate to be around a Malenko, be a part of that Malenko Academy, that camp. But guys came and went through there all the time while I was there. Brady Boone was in
Yeah.
WWF at the time. Brian Blair was there. He would come over and use the ring to tighten his work up for Japan. Joe Malenko would come in when it was time for him to go back. At that time, he was still doing some tours over in Japan. So you got to meet and wrestle with all these talented people, and that's then after like that and they had student shows, of course, but also about 2 months after that. So I've been about 6 months. I started getting booked out, on maybe Tuesday night, a Friday night, a Saturday afternoon show, maybe a Sunday afternoon show. So I started taking some bookings and, done quite well. That's kind of what happened. But Larry was a great mentor and a teacher. He was teaching me lessons. He was like a father to me. He was teaching myself and a lot of the boys lessons in life, not just in wrestling, and also but how the two intertwined. How to deal with different things in and outside the ring. So,
yeah. How much did he charge you for the camp?
Man, I don't even know. I think it was supposed to be like $1,500. And you paid X amount of dollars, $1,500 down, and you do all this. But Larry would take you out back, and this was my agreement. Everyone had their own agreement. He said, Bobby, how's $30 a week sound? And I actually was delivering pizzas at that point too. I switched to delivering pizzas when I was there. And I said, yeah, I can do that. And he said, now that $30 is for the week, whether you come one time or whether you come all 4 times, that's up to you. That's how, so I thought that's great. And then I also moved in. So I stopped the pizza gig and was working with a guy doing some construction a little bit. And, we'd do a show. So that guy, his whole deal was he wanted to help me make sure that my hours were working so I could be at that camp every time. And anytime they gave me a booking, I could make that booking. So, through his kindness, he gave me a job and a place to hang out at and make sure I could get my workouts and all that in. And I don't know how many times the $30 exchanged hands between Mr. Malenko and myself, because we'd go to a show and he'd say, take $30 off of your bill and set up the ring. I don't even know if I had a bill, Then he'd come to me on like a Tuesday. At one point, Dean had went back to Japan. I had already been to Canada and Canada. I'd been to Canada twice and South Africa. And I'd come down on Tuesday and Thursday. And he'd say, fill in for Dean today and do this, Then he handed me $20, he goes, that's for teaching class tonight. And I was like, all I did was do the conditioning part, I was like, okay. So I don't know that $1,000 passed between him and I, because it was a handshake deal. And like I said, I think that $1,500 figure was thrown out there, but man, it was, if I paid $2,000, I paid too little, but I'm serious. I doubt $200 when it's all said and done passed hands, because it was just a mutual respect thing. And plus he knew how serious I was to move 1,500 miles from home to be there and to be there 4 days a week, so a lot of mutual respect there.
Yeah, Sean Waltman always spoke like super highly of Larry as well. Just said he was a great trainer and, just knew he was thinking he doesn't sound like one of those trainers who, I don't know, like let's say Buzz Sawyer, who charge you $3,000, try and run you off. He may not turn up, or charge you $3,000, try and run you off the first day, and then keep the money and leave.
No, man, we just had a handshake agreement. It was going to be $30 a week there at the beginning, and I'm telling you, with me being there within 6 weeks or so, it was like, get your butt here, kind of thing. So, and then I listened, just give my attention and learned. So yeah.